While Reserve Bank officials didn't say it, it would seem that potential market reaction to US monetary policy is giving them sleepless nights. An interest rate hike in the US expected later this year could see investors divert their funds to US assets as they become relatively more attractive due to offering a greater return. For emerging markets like South Africa, which rely on capital inflows to help bridge current account deficits, this would spell disaster. There's a question mark on the extent to which the market expects US rates to rise and when.
But the fact that every time there is any indication of strength of the US economy or any comment by the US policymakers that they think that normalization will take place soon, there is a reaction in the market. If they think that is going to take place later, there is also a reaction in the market. So very clearly there is uncertainty, and there are market players who have discounted it. There are market players who have not discounted it.
In the worst case scenario, capital flight out of South Africa would result in investors in South African bonds demanding a higher interest rate to remain invested. The Reserve Bank would then come under pressure to lift domestic interest rates. Greater demand for the US dollar as money flies into that economy would also result in a stronger dollar, thereby weakening the rand further. The South African banking sector holds a lot of government bonds, but only around 30% are dollar denominated.
If the normalization takes place, there will be a repricing of some of the debt that they have in international markets, but as I had said, it is minimal as far as South African banks are concerned.
The Financial Stability Review noted that banks had to endure slightly higher interest rates for long-term funding requirements, this as they competed for funds. It also noted that banks had experienced lower impairments on loans advanced. And despite the low economic growth environment, it concluded that South African banks remained well capitalized. Nompumelelo Siziba, SABC News, Johannesburg.